Lance Stroll puts himself just above his teammate Sebastian Vettel, could still be very much at risk. Latifi's gone fastest overall in the first sector. Vettel's in the bottom 5. Ocon goes 8th fastest. There are green sector times all across the board here, one of which was Yuki Tsunoda, but he's only gone 16th on his latest lap, and green sector times means a personal best for that driver. Gasly goes 13th fastest, pushes Stroll down into the bottom. Stroll's out of qualifying in Q1 again. Albon can't get out of Q1. His teammate Nicholas Latifi might. Lando Norris goes 5th fastest. Mick Schumacher, the driver, at risk, but Mick Schumacher is out of the bottom 5, is 14th. Nicholas Latifi, whatever happened on that lap happened in the final sector to him, sadly. Whilst he put in a really good first sector and a pretty decent middle sector, the time just went by the end and he is out. And on the new tyres towards the ends, the two Mercedes of Hamilton and Russell put in the fastest 2 times from Sainz, Verstappen and Norris.
Okay, we've lost that lap for track limits at turn 5.
Turn 5 is what it said on the screens. Well, that actually looked like he was on the line.
He was still on the line, wasn't he, surely?
Stewards have had a little rethink.
They have indeed. They are reinstating Perez's time, rightly so. Somebody was a bit over-eager there, weren't they?
Yeah.
This is annoying for him if he's having to go again when he didn't need to.
Valtteri Bottas then, who I mentioned, on a run now of not making Q3 at the last 6 races, has put in a couple of personal bests in the first 2 sectors, as has Esteban Ocon. Ocon a couple of tenths maybe faster than Valtteri Bottas during those 2 sectors. Bottas could make things interesting for everyone else if he gets into that top 10, and he does. Pushes Sergio Perez right onto the limit. Lando Norris has just gone fastest overall in the first sector. Esteban Ocon goes 8th fastest, ahead then of Valtteri Bottas. Perez is now in the bottom 5 and is out of qualifying.
Yes, he's not on the racetrack. I'm looking at the tracker here, he's not out.
Got to be in it to win it, and he wasn't. So Sergio Perez is out.
Magnussen. Yeah, was locked in by Magnussen.
Yeah, copy that, Checo.
Perez along with Magnussen both out. Zhou Guanyu also out. Lance Stroll and Mick Schumacher completing that bottom 5. Verstappen and Leclerc separated by 6/100ths. Ocon does a 1:18.8 then on his flying lap. Ricciardo behind him, a 1:19.3. That's what Charles Leclerc through the final corner. Be patient, and then get the DRS open. Straight line to the line, 1:17.9.
Clean lap, Sainz will have him, and have him quite comfortably.
Here's Lando Norris next across the line, goes onto the second row ahead of Ocon and his teammate Daniel Ricciardo. Carlos Sainz, though, looking for provisional pole, gets provisional pole by nearly half a second from his teammate Charles Leclerc.
Take some beating.
Very good first lap for Carlos Sainz. Fernando Alonso, we know, has got a new set of tyres on board his Alpine. Twice a pole sitter here before, goes 3rd fastest behind the 2 Ferraris, and that will certainly be news down at Red Bull, as Lewis Hamilton now goes 3rd fastest on a used set of tyres. George Russell next across the line goes 2nd fastest, ahead of Charles Leclerc, and the Mercedes running a used set of tyres, and they found pace where Charles Leclerc got all a little bit squirrely coming out of turn 1 and lost time. Here's Max Verstappen next across the line, only 7th fastest for Max Verstappen.
It looked horrible through the last corner.
Leclerc has gone fastest through the first sector.
Nothing works.
Verstappen's still going, but there's problems there.
Yeah, that's the 28.1 we were expecting from Leclerc last time around. He's nailed it this time. But Sainz even faster with a 28.0. Sainz currently on pole by best part of half a second.
Ferrari wants a front row lockout here, and they're going the best way about it, with Sainz and Leclerc comfortably ahead of the rest of the field through the first sector. I can tell you that George Russell and Lewis Hamilton are still to go through that first sector. We'll get their comparisons in a moment. Lando Norris was a couple of tenths down on Carlos Sainz, but here comes Leclerc then, out of the final corner. Is this another provisional pole? No, it's not. by 6/100ths of a second. He can't better his teammate Carlos Sainz, so Sainz knows that one threat has gone, another in the space of Verstappen has gone as well. His first sector absolutely nowhere. Carlos Sainz on provisional pole extends his margin ahead of the rest, and it could be a second pole of his career for Carlos Sainz. Lando Norris will be next to cross the line in his McLaren, goes up to third. New set of tyres on that McLaren, giving Norris everything.
No, for go on, let's try to fix this issue.
They can't fix it. It's going to be 10th and 11th on the grid for Red Bull. This has been a dream Saturday for Ferrari, but can Mercedes come back and try and get a front row? Oh, it's better than that! George Russell takes provisional pole! For the first time in his career in Formula One, George Russell could be starting on pole, and that is absolutely incredible!
You made it! Come on! Woo! Come on, boys! Yes! Woo! Come on! You beauty! You beauty!
Few things to pick up on here. Lewis Hamilton had a DRS issue. It was an opening. That's why he pitted and aborted his final flying lap. Max Verstappen limped round and is going to be 10th and 11th on the grid for Red Bull. And guess what? The boy from Kings Lynn's on pole.